Hi Libra, welcome to July. This is Teresa from Tarot by T. And this month we have Mercury moving into Cancer and then Leo. Mars moves into Taurus on the 5th with Mercury in Cancer. Then we have a full moon on July 13th in Capricorn. And a new moon in Leo on July 28th. And then Jupiter goes retrograde on the 29th. So let's see, we'll talk about that later. Let's see what Libra needs to know about love and relationships for the month of July 2022. What's coming up for Libra in July of 2022? What is coming up for Libra? Seven of Swords, the Knight of Cups, the Two of Swords, the Ace of Wands, the Four of Wands, the Seven of Wands, the Nine of Wands, the Nine of Swords, the King of Swords, and the Nine of Pentacles. And the card at the bottom of the deck is the Sun. So you're starting out the month with the Seven of Swords. Now, that could be that you're either avoiding facing something or you're not being totally transparent with someone in a relationship. Because the Seven of Swords is a sneaky energy. Sometimes it means you're just sweeping things under the rug. You don't want to face the truth. It can mean that someone in your life has a hidden agenda. You may feel like, I don't know if I can trust this person. Are they telling me everything? Because you have this Knight of Cups energy. And surrounded by swords, the Knight of Cups can be a little bit deceptive. The Knight of Cups is it's a romantic proposal, but you may not trust it. You may feel like this person's not telling you the whole story. That there's a proposal coming in, but there are pieces missing. So it's not so much that the person is lying, it's they're leaving stuff out. So you want to be careful if you're making any commitments this month or accepting any proposals. Look deeper and make sure that whatever's happening, that you're getting the truth, that you're getting the full story. You have the Two of Swords here, so this is about making a decision. Maybe you're trying to decide if you want to initiate something with someone, but you're on the fence about it. You're not sure. You keep weighing the pros and cons. Or you're waiting for the other person to reach out. Because the Two of Swords is when two people are not communicating. There's a potential partnership, but each person is waiting. There's like a stalemate. And each person is waiting for the other person to reach out, to make the move. So if you're not talking to someone, you're thinking, well, let them call me. They need to call me. And they're thinking, well, no, that other person needs to call me. So between the two of you, you're each waiting for the other person and nothing's happening. So somebody has to break the ice. You have the Ace of Wands here in the recent past. So there was kind of a new beginning. There was some energy around a new beginning in the spring. This relates to the months of March, April, May. So you had the potential for a new beginning, and you still have the potential for success. You have the Four of Wands here and the Seven of Wands. And the Sun. The Sun gives you the ability to overcome any problems in the reading. And the Sun represents someone that you really enjoy being with. You could be connecting with someone that brings fun to your life, where you're just happy to be together. You're just having a good time. You feel like a child. You're doing fun things. Sometimes the Sun, and you have the Four of Wands, this relationship could end in marriage or could lead to a commitment. But I don't understand. I'm a little leery about the Seven of Swords energy. So I don't know if you're being totally honest. Maybe you're not sure how you feel about this person, or you're not sure what to believe about this person or about this offer. I feel like an offer is coming in, but there's a lot more beneath the surface you need to investigate. Now, the Seven of Wands is also another card of if there's competition in a situation. So like you're thinking you're the only one on the playing field. Maybe there's another person. The Seven of Wands shows that you are the favored one. You have the vantage point. The Seven of Wands is also saying that you can overcome any obstacles. So don't let, these are minor obstacles that are standing in the way of love. It's not an impossible situation. And the Seven of Wands is saying you may need to just stand your ground and fight for what you believe in and fight for what you want. So you might have to set some boundaries with someone. So it's not an impossible situation. There might be some things that need to be worked out, but it can be done. And it can bring fun and joy into your life. You have the Nine of Wands here in your negative thinking sector. The Nine of Wands is about being prepared to do battle. So maybe you're thinking, okay, this is too good to be true. I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. Or it could be that something that you thought you were done with, a relationship that you had ended, comes back, or a situation, maybe an argument that you thought you were settled, comes back to be dealt with. And you have to give it one more shot. The Nine of Wands is like you're near the end of the battle. You're almost at the victory line. You just have to, don't give up. Don't quit when you're just about to succeed. Like a lot of times, we do that. We are working on something and, we're not seeing the results we're looking for. And we think, oh, maybe I should just quit. Maybe I should just give up. Well, the Nine of Wands energy is saying, don't quit. Just give it one more try because you will be successful. You just have to, power through to the finish line. In your environment, you have the Nine of Swords. So someone is overthinking something. Is it you? It could be you. It could be the other person. Maybe you're both overthinking things. The Nine of Swords can also represent imaginary fears. Like you're starting to think of, well, if I do this, what if this happens? What if that happens? So you're running all these things through your head, and it's scaring you into not taking action. Like, because this person here, she's got a blindfold on. She wants to see the future. She wants a guarantee. Like, if I do this, is it going to be okay? And because she can't see, she's like, okay, I can't decide because I don't know how this is going to turn out. What if it's a disaster? And the Nine of Swords is worry and guilt and all kinds of crazy emotions sitting up at night. A lot of times the worry of the Nine of Swords is more in your mind than what's ever going to happen. So you have to use the energy of this King of Swords, which could be your energy, because Swords energy can relate to air signs. And the energy of this King of Swords, and this is in your wish fulfillment sector, he's trying to separate what's real from what's not real. He's trying to make a decision based on logic and not based on emotion. Whereas this Knight of Cups is all about emotion. So maybe you're dealing with someone who's very emotional and they're like romantic and they live in a dream world. They're like in La La Land and you're being more realistic and more practical or more logical. You're like weighing the pros and cons and like, well, if I do this, what are the benefits? What are the negatives? What are the positives? You're really trying to figure it all out. Maybe there's someone in your life that's not telling you the truth. Someone is being sneaky and deceptive. So you're not able to judge a situation properly because you're listening to someone else's gossip. So I would say, don't listen to gossip. If you have any questions about anything, go to the source. Go to the person directly. Don't let somebody else say, oh, I heard so-and-so, blah, 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 Or, this person doesn't really like you. They told me, blah, blah, blah. You don't want to listen to hearsay. You want to get it from the horse's mouth. That will nip that in the bud. Now, the outcome is the Nine of Pentacles. So I feel like you're doing okay financially. The Nine of Pentacles is a woman enjoying her garden. She's got a roof over her head. She's comfortable. but she's feeling lonely. So you could be doing okay financially, but you're feeling like, well, I wish I had something. I want to share my abundance with someone. And so you might be looking for love. If you're not in a relationship, you might be looking for love, but you're wanting to make a wise choice. You're not ready to jump into anything. But I feel like there's a lot of confusion around a relationship where you're not sure if you should take action or not. I think that if you do take action, you have the Sun here and the Four of Wands. You have some good cards for success and a new beginning. You just have to get over the worry and the overthinking. So, yes, you should make decisions based on logic, based on, what's right for you. But don't let your mind work overtime where it prevents you, from even taking action. So you have to kind of balance that. Not too much of a good thing. Too much fear, too much analysis. You don't want analysis paralysis, where you're analyzing all these things and you're frozen. Sometimes you have to just take a chance. Just do it. Make a decision. If it doesn't work, if it works, great. If it doesn't work out, you make another decision. It's not set in stone. Whatever you're doing, you can change it. But you have the Four of Wands coming up here, so I think that the outcome could be positive. But, so be careful who you listen to. Make sure that whoever you're listening to doesn't have another agenda, the Seven of Swords energy is kind of sneaky, kind of hidden agenda. So be careful. Just open your eyes. Make decisions with your eyes wide open. If you're not sure about something, ask. Speak up. Don't just assume things. So let's see. What do the angels have to say about this? Let's see what message we get from the angels for Libra. What does Libra need to know for July in terms of relationship or their life? Oneness. Okay, hold on. These cards are cute, but they're hard to get back together. Okay. Someone you dearly miss is forever present in your heart. Remember, dearest one, that even though there has been a physical parting, spiritually, those we love never leave us. Creation is eternal. Nothing is ever truly missing, for all is interconnected and ultimately one. So maybe you're missing someone from the past, and that's holding you back. But in the ultimate, we're all one. And you really can't lose anyone. So that's the message. That's a very profound message. You can't lose what's yours. So let's see what the astrology has to say. So Libra, you have a full moon in your 4th house, and it's connected to Pluto. This is very powerful because it's not only is it angular, something is coming to a head, to completion, around home and family, and also career and your public life. You could be ending a cycle. You could be completing something, a project around the house, or something that involves your family. And there's powerful emotions around this. It's like you're ending. The full moons are endings of a cycle, but it's also they bring things to the surface. They bring awareness. So if there was something that you were not seeing, you'll see it at the full moon. And the moon conjunct Pluto can be very intense, very emotional. So you might be processing a lot of emotions around home, family, mother figures, women, powerful women in your life. There's also a trine to Uranus and the North Node in the 8th house. The 8th house is the house of transformation, sex, death, transformation. So you're changing on major levels. You are transforming. So as this full moon brings things to culmination, and it's like you're ending a cycle, you're completing a cycle, you're also being freed with Uranus from any sense of Like the 8th house is like dealing with the darkness, dealing with your fears around intimacy, dealing with, the 8th house is also paying off loans, inheritance, death, money that you get from others, your partner's income. So you could be handling things around taxes or inheritance or money. But I feel like you're being freed from a financial burden. And even being freed, you're having an opportunity with Uranus to break free and have an exciting new beginning that leads to your transformation. Neptune is in your 6th house. That's the house of health and work. So you could be working in a career where you're helping others. If Neptune has to do with something physical, like health, it could be that you're not sure. Like you may feel weird and you're not, and nobody can find out what's wrong. Neptune could also relate to any kind of addiction problems, so you might be trying to solve that. And you have the opportunity to release that because you have Uranus sextile Neptune. Uranus is breaking you free from any kind of addiction problems. You can really change your life at this time. Whether you're addicted to a person or a drug or whatever, or even to work itself, because 6th house is about work and service. Maybe you're giving too much in relationships or giving too much in your career and you have no life. Whatever the case is, you're being freed with the Uranus energy. Mercury is in your 10th house, and it is sextile Uranus. So I think that your career is going to be, you might be signing a contract, or you might be doing more writing or more communicating. And sextile Uranus, something could come up out of the blue, something you don't expect, but it puts you on a path. It frees you in some way from financial burden. You have Venus in the 9th, trine Saturn in the 5th. So you have the opportunity to connect with someone who's very different than you. If there's new romance coming in, it could lead to, there could be an age difference. There could be an energy of one person being a parent figure to the other. There could be cultural differences, beliefs. You could meet someone when you're traveling, Venus in the 9th, or you could decide, I want to travel. I want to go back to school. I want to teach. I want to learn. If you're young, you might be going back to school. If you're older, you might be teaching. You might be sharing your wisdom. Venus is squaring Neptune. Where's Neptune? So I feel like if you're involved in any kind of project, especially something that involves foreign investments or foreign companies, where you're doing like a global reach, you want to make sure that you're dealing with people that are being transparent and honest, because Neptune can bring confusion and deception unless it involves artwork. If it's involving an art project, then Neptune brings inspiration and it operates on a more favorable playing field. But if it has anything to do other than art or music or drama, anything creative, you want to look out and make sure that you're reading the contract properly, that you're reading the fine print, that you understand what's expected of you and what you're expected to give or what you're going to be receiving. But with Venus trine Saturn, whatever you're creating, whatever you're starting, whether it's a creative project or a romance, it has the potential to last a long time. But it's going to involve hard work and commitment. Then we have this new moon in Leo, and that's happening in your 11th house. So that's a new beginning in friendships and the groups that you belong to. You might be making some new friends, or you might be joining a new group that wants to improve the world in some way. And this new moon is trining Jupiter in your 7th house. Now, when Jupiter's in your 7th house, that brings in the opportunity to have a positive partner, someone who brings joy and expansion to your life, optimism. But also, Jupiter if you're attracting a partner under the influence of Jupiter in the 7th, you're attracting someone who is financially sound. So it could be you're attracting a wealthy partner. And that could be in a marriage, but it could also be in a business situation. Like if you're changing jobs, this person has the money to pay you what you're worth. If you're marrying someone, this person has money, so you don't have to be the one that's always that's supporting everyone. So it's going to lighten your financial burden. It could also mean that a friendship, because the new moon's in the 11th house of friendship, you could meet someone through friends or through some group that you belong to, and it's going to be a positive. It could lead to a positive connection, and even a healing connection, because you have Chiron also in the 7th house. So this relationship could represent healing for you, especially if you've been through a difficult time in the past. Mercury is in the 11th. It's opposing Saturn in the 5th. So the only problem is that you're working. Saturn in the 5th is like, well, I can't have fun because I have work responsibilities. So you want to make time, you want to have that work-life balance. You don't want to work so hard that you don't have time for life and fun and children and family. So you may have to juggle that. Mars, I'm telling you, Mars, the North Node, and Uranus are coming together in your 8th house. That's major. Major transformation, major opportunity to release baggage and fears around intimacy. You can really change at a deep level and be freed of a lot of things, fears and insecurities around money, other people's, money. I feel like that it's like the floodgates open up and you're freed from something that's been preventing you from having a real intimate connection in a relationship. Because the 8th house, the 7th house is the house of marriage or commitment, but the 8th house is the house of bonding at the soul level. Someone who touches you on a deep level and transforms you. It's a love that will transform your life. So don't get scared. Venus is going to be in your 10th house by this time. It has moved from the 9th into the 10th. So things at work are going to be great. You're going to be getting along really well with your colleagues and with, things are more harmonious in your career. Maybe you might even go public with a relationship because Venus is in your public house, 10th house. And that's the house of, your status. It's a house of changing your status. So you could go from single to married, married to single. If it has to do with some kind of work project, you could be involved in something that involves more creativity. In any case, you're going to love the work that you're doing. So if you're changing jobs, you're going to move into something that's got greater harmony, more pleasure, more charm. Like you'll find that the people you're working with are more charming. There's greater harmony between the people, your team. I just feel like there could be a relationship coming that can really bring healing to your life on some level with this new moon. So you have an opportunity for major release and major healing. So if you've been through a difficult time, know that there's new energy coming in. So don't worry. You can overcome whatever problems. Don't be afraid to welcome the new. And don't let the new person pay for the sins of the past person. So that's my forecast, Libra. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, leave a comment. Click on the like button. Click on the subscribe button. If you're new, welcome. I hope you've been enjoying the readings. Now, this is a general reading, so it may not apply to everyone. So if you want a specific reading that applies only to you, click on the link in the description box, and it'll take you to my website, and we can get you on the schedule. In the meantime, have a wonderful July, and I will talk to you again next month. Okay, bye now.